some fools. I got the bitchy in the field, now watch her hit the pole. The sugar daddy season, boy, we stunning on these hoes.
Doing a stream on a Saturday night for a meme coin with a sub $2 million market cap can only mean a few things. The fact that I'm doing the stream and the fact that you're watching the stream both says we don't have shit else to do, right? Like, let's just admit it. We don't have anything else to do. We don't have anything better to do. We're listening to a stream of a guy from a sub $2 million market cap meme coin on a Saturday night. So I thought about two things. Like, we need to make these Saturday night streams a little special, okay? All right. I hate it when I show like my cluttered desk. It makes me feel lame. So that's why I'm always shaking it off. By the way, I'm going to be moving to my new house soon. That has like a bowling alley and all this other crazy shit. So these streams might get a little bit more interesting then. I don't know exactly why. We can definitely incorporate the bowling alley somehow because we kind of have to. But we're stuck with my current setup for today at least. And we still need to make it special. So I thought of two ideas. The first was Inspo Saturday, like something inspirational, make us all feel good, make us like really like hyped up. The second thing was Tales from the Clink, where I talk about my 3 weeks in the hospital. I think it's a new story every single time and make Quan make some magic with it down the road. And I realized that, first of all, why not both? And second of all, there's really only so many Tales from the Clink I got before it gets really repetitive, and I'm really, really reaching. So, like, let's not like expect too much from that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Inspo Saturday. And it's kind of like I can already kind of see how all the wrong responses to a meme coin boom will happen, which means the meme coin boom will happen and it will get vicious. And I'm going to incorporate a little Tales from the Clink here. So when I was at the hospital for this, I read one book. I read one book because I'm not a reader. The fact that I think this is the first book I've read in like, I don't know, 20 years, something like that. I don't read books because I just don't read books. So I read a book about this. His name was Jesse Livermore. He was a famous stock trader 100 years ago. He basically started trading stocks from 1890 until his death in 1940. He played the 1920s perfectly. He made money on the way up. He shorted during the Great Crash. He was the man. Now, the only thing about Jesse Livermore is he like won and lost the equivalent of $100 million or more like 4 times. Like the dude just made shit tons of money, went broke, did again. He was addicted to the game. He didn't care about the money itself as much. Like, yeah, he spent a lot of money on all sorts of stuff, but it wasn't like he was greedy. He liked the adrenaline rush. And it's a sad story because ultimately he killed himself when he was like 62 after he, his like third wife, who's like a lot of her previous husbands died or killed themselves too. So like, watch out, woman. Women again, watch out. She was probably like, oh wait, you're losing. Just go away and just do whatever. Like let me. And I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate on his third wife. But my point is it's a sad story, but this guy was brilliant, and there's a lot to learn from him. And he talked about how human nature is the same. How the market trades because human nature is the same. He also said that the biggest issue with his trading was always his own emotions. And ultimately he was able to control his own emotions, given what happens. But he was very in depth with that. Now, what I'm using that to say is there's a few things we can learn from that. And like the one thing I really liked in the book was he kept talking about how the biggest moves are always at the end. And that's true today. Anytime there's a mania of any sort, the biggest moves are always at the end. For example, when I talked about how I bought Bitcoin at like $500, and I sold it during that 2016, 2017 run up. But my average sell was probably like $3,000 or $4,000, guys. It was not like 15 or it's not like I sold at like 15,000 and bought stuff back when it was sub 6,000. No, I sold my Bitcoin that I had way too early during that because I didn't really respect the fact that the biggest move would have at the end, and I didn't respect how early I was. I didn't really think I was that early because I'd heard of Bitcoin. I remember seeing some guy on Facebook make fun of Bitcoin was $1,000. I was like when the first time I went to 1,000 down to 200, like he was making, I was like, and that just goes to show you, like, don't be a hater. Like, if you bought that peak in like 2013 or whatever, you bought Bitcoin at $1,000, you're probably pretty good. You're looking pretty good, buddy. But going back, my point is that he was right. How the biggest moves always happen in the end. Markets are a little bit different now. You got so much institutional money. You got all this AI stuff. You got quant stuff. You got way more going on here. But there's some aspects of human stuff that still ring true, and it depends on the market, right? Some markets are so boring that human emotion plays zero role, and then some, the human emotion plays a lot more role. And obviously, in meme coins is going to be the most pure markets because there's absolutely no, institutional money in meme coins. There might be some in crypto, but there's none in meme coins. And that's just something, so we must respect that if there's a move, the move will happen the strongest at the end, and that we are psycho early at this thing, like psychotically early at this point. But I wanted to bring up some things that we'll start to see when the meme coins get going. And the first I want to bring up is the NFTs, right? Because NFTs were, they hadn't done shit, right? They were kind of the rage in 2020, 2021, and they pooped. And they never came back. Now, we have NFTs at Sugar Daddy season that we give out. Like, once a month, we have those little Sugar Daddy cards that we act as, like, kind of stickers, like memberships. But these aren't for sale. These NFTs are, like, stickers or, little fun things, or they're, like, membership cards. They're not something you trade. They're not digital art. They're something that's is like, it has like a utility case. And I believe in that. And there are some NFTs that have done well, like the Pudgy Penguins and stuff, because the Pudgy Penguins meme coin has done so well. So there are some NFTs that have done fine. But in general, that asset is not great because NFTs are not about a community like a meme coin is. It's like my NFT has a special nose, and yours has mine has a green skin, and yours doesn't have hats, or it doesn't like. It doesn't have the community aspects that a meme coin has. It focuses so much on the individual art and the individual NFT. It makes it very illiquid, and it doesn't work. Like with a meme coin, your meme coin, like if we each own a share of, say, Giga, my Giga coin and your Giga coin is worth the same. Maybe one of us has more Giga coins, but the coin itself is the same. It is the same community. Sometimes some people have more of the coin than others, but it is the same thing. That's why meme coins are so different, because meme coins act as religions, whereas an NFT does not, because the NFT is individualized. It is not a religion. So this is where I wanted to get back to inspo. This is where I'm kind of like making them all come together. Jesse Livermore talked about how human nature does not change. And he was talking about markets. I want to talk about religion. People have always been religious since the dawn of man, right? People talk about, how, as society has developed, people are less religious. And they talk about, church attendance and stuff like that. I'm going to call bullshit. I'm going to say people have different religions now. I think politics has become more of a religion for a lot of people. Bitcoin is a religion. All right? I call Bitcoin a meme. Bitcoin is a religion. There's, all sorts of different religions now, but a lot of it revolves around politics, which is fucking sad. There's also this political correctness, university type shit. And I think that religion is kind of dying. People talk about how like wokeness is on the like going down or whatever, and I think it's more like people like got into debt for college and learned a bunch of bullshit. And they're like, "Fuck you, college! All you do is get me in debt, right?" So likewise, I feel like people's affinity towards colleges even is less, right? Like, people just don't care as much about their alma maters as they used to. Like, I know some guys I met do. They might be huge Notre Dame fans, or some are big Texas fans, but like it's not as much as it quite was, especially with the NIL. Like colleges, that whole thing has less of a like it affects people's identity. It's like less of people's identity and religion compared to say 20 years ago, even, right? Because people are pissed off about the debt, people are pissed off about the politics of it all. And even like college football, it's like, well, it's not necessarily people from your home state playing. There's people that got paid to go there. And by the way, I'm all happy for the guys that get paid. To be clear, I'm very pro the athletes getting paid because fuck working for free. So, like to me, that's like the tertiary, like that's just the icing on the cake of it all. But that's the thing I'm most in favor of. I'm not in favor of people getting in debt. So fucking like some bullshit administrator makes $150,000 a year, twiddling their thumbs and doing nothing. Okay. So you have traditional religions that have kind of declined and have steady now, but they're just not as powerful as they were. Then we replace them with politics, which sucks. We replace them with universities, which also sucks. People need religion. If you notice one thing, is if there's one thing I've noticed, is like people that are religious tend to be more grounded than the people that are like, they don't believe in blah, blah. I'm like, you do believe in shit, by the way. They do believe in shit. They just don't realize they believe in shit. So what are meme coins? Meme coins are little religions. They touch people in their feelings, they touch people in their beliefs, and they can make money at it. So kind of like if there's like a demand for religion, just like there's always been a demand for religion, well, I feel like meme coins are kind of serve that demand. And that kind of goes back to what Jesse Livermore was saying. It's like human nature doesn't change. And just like the big moves will happen at the end of the markets, and then we do, the big moves will happen in meme coins near the end. And likewise, if people feel like they can't really make money if they feel like something is rigged, they're going to go towards something where they feel like they have a chance at it. And a meme coin is something they feel like they understand more because there isn't all this weird shit to it. Like it is what it is. It's a community. It's a brand. Like they understand that. People don't understand like advanced AI shit or anything like that. People don't understand why they're buying XRP. They just buy it because the price went up and they feel like good about it. So that's why these meme coins, they fit a thing and it can really blast off. But the big moves will not happen at the beginning. They will happen at the end. We're starting to see a little bubble. Like we're starting to see some giggity in this shit. SPX 6900, which I'd say my two favorite memes that I actually like. These two, like I like Giga and SPX 6900 the most. If those ones fail, well, like pretty much all the meme coins are probably gonna fail. All right. Now SPX 6900 is up about 40% the past week or so. Again, it came down a lot since January, but it's starting to show a little ump in it. But that's nothing. That's nothing. It's not even near its high. And it's nowhere near like $5 or $10. It's not anywhere near where it could be if it really latches on. And I retweeted something from the leader of it. He talked about there's demand for religion and how this kind of cash flows are going to get commoditized away. And I believe everything he says. And he's very much on point. And I think people are going to kind of understand, like, hey, I understand feelings. I understand religion. I don't understand this other shit. If I want a chance to win, it's going to be through this. And then we also have to talk about how we haven't had a real mania since like the late 90s. Like in the late 90s stock bubble, those were all like kind of micro, small internet stocks that went woo, and people thought other people getting rich off of some stock they bought that like went up 10 or 20x in like a year. We don't have that recently because the stuff that's gone up has generally been it went up like 5x or went up 2x. Like these mega cap stocks can only go up so much. Same thing with the mega cap cryptos. They can only go up so much. But if people see other people making 10x or 20x on their money, that drives them all insane. And they're all going to start rushing in because that is what human nature is. We just haven't had that in a while because we haven't seen those fast money moves in a long time. Follow me? Like, yes, we've seen stuff go up, but it's gone up, and some's gone up a good amount, but stuff hasn't really like zipped. Like 10, 20x type stuff where your neighbor made money. Some people did, but like it's so rare. But once people start seeing other people they know make like 5, 10x in like a few months, that's when everyone goes fucking apeshit. Got it? That's what makes people go apeshit. That's human nature. That can happen with meme coins. So what will happen when this starts to happen? Well, everyone's going to say, oh, it's just like NFTs. They're not like NFTs. Not at all. But you can see how the haters will hate on it as it fueling it to go higher. It's like I kind of see it all developing. It's almost like I see the arguments against it that I know are wrong. But like when we start seeing those arguments and like when the meme coins start to get going to the point where say like the New York Times picks up on it, and we're not even close to this shit yet, okay? We're not even close to this shit. But when we start seeing, these things, oh, is this just like NFTs in 2020? That's when you just go all in. That's when you just basically, I'm not going to say mortgage the house because I don't want people doing that to buy a meme coin. But that's when you just go all in because, yes, they'll already be higher. But that's when they just go full on blast off. Because that's when the people get, like, the people that don't get it, they're just not going to get it. And everyone's going to FOMO in. We're nowhere near that. That's my point. Remember, I talked how I bought Bitcoin at $500 and I thought I was okay selling it at $2,000 or $4,000? Like, we're not even like that level yet. But some people on crypto are like, oh, October, up. I'm like, the Q4 might be great. I'm like, oh my God. Next summer, guys. Seriously. We are not anywhere near where we can be. We're not even close to the end. We're not even close to the beginning or the middle. We're still in the infant stages. We're in the SPX 6900 finally had a little 40% move off the low. We're in the, like, I went to the hospital to, like, and I said nothing's going to happen, and sure enough, nothing happened. The meme stopped going down. We're not anywhere close to the shit. It could mean that the meme thesis is just wrong. It means I could be just wrong, but I think the more likely event is that we're just in the little teeny tiny baby stages. We're in like the first inning now, seeing that little 40% move in SPX 6900 compared to Ethereum. You see what I'm saying? Like we saw the main Ethereum meme coin way stronger than Ethereum last week, but that's like the top of the first inning, and that makes people think, okay, maybe we're going to have like a move here. Like no, like it's all about the ninth inning, the eighth and the ninth inning, and being mentally ready for that eighth and ninth inning. And that's not happening until next summer, at the earliest, in my opinion. Maybe in the spring, but my guess is next summer is when this shit goes crazy. And that's why I'm here on a Saturday night talking about meme coins. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, it's so far away. It's next summer. That's not 12 months away. Okay. I'm not talking about 5 or 10 years away. I'm talking about 10 months away. And being mentally prepared and doing research, establishing a name for myself in Sugar Daddy season so that we all can capitalize on this thing. Because every single day I ask myself, is this all bullshit or not? And I'm going to answer because, and I think it comes down to this. There's a demand for a feeling-based asset with AI and all these other things. People care about their feelings. People want to invest in something that makes them feel good, it makes them feel safe, makes them feel strong, makes them feel like they have a chance. That's what a meme coin is. That's what investing in a new religion is. And some of these meme coins that have been around, like, they're clearly not going to get just rud to death, like, SPX 6900 or Giga. Like, obviously, people care about these things. I mean, shit, some of us care about Sugar Daddy season, and we obviously are down 98%, but we're still showing that we care. But some of these other bigger coins, they've shown that they care. If they kind of like start getting going, it could be really, really, it could be a face ripping thing because the demand for this type of asset is there. I don't know. Any questions or comments, Quan?
Just crypto savvy, still in here, Lord Crypto. But for me, going off of what you said and the religion thing, I think it's the uptick in stan culture. I think on the internet, stan culture, like people, fans of things, they'll pick a person or a product and they'll get behind it and they believe in it, and they realize that if they become a disciple or they become the best disciple they can make money off of it. So as a belief asset, if let's say it's Taylor Swift just dropped and her fans have believed, they branded themselves Swifties, they do everything that she asks to kind of boost her to the stratosphere. And if you become the best Swiftie online, you can get recognition from Taylor and the people around her. So I think the uptick in stan culture is kind of where we are in this era of social media. It's like you can not only be a fan of this person or this product, you can be yourself become famous. So I think that's a lot of the belief and the religious part or the religious aspect to what we got going on in this society.
Right. And with a meme coin, you prove that you believe in this religion, and then you can incorporate that brand in stuff you do. Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift. At the end of the day, she owns all her shit. But that's not the case with these meme coins. There's no single person ever owns all of a meme coin. That's just not how these things work. They're communal brands by nature, and it's kind of a new thing. It's a new thing that people have not grasped. They just haven't. And it's largely so new because there was a lot of legal risk or perceived legal risk in, say, 2023 or, back with the old administration, but now there isn't. It's just something where we have to give it a little bit of time, but we're starting to see it. And we just have to, I'm not going to say you just have to believe in it, but you have to let it do its thing. You can't expect stuff to just pop off right now or next month. It will pop off eventually, though. It'll kind of slowly gain strength here and there, and at some point, it goes insane. And it's just a lot better to be positioned to where you don't have the time for it to go, you don't have to feel like, okay, I'm just going to wait for it to go insane. Because, would you have rather bought SPX 6900 at $1 or $1.40 now? And what happens when it's at $2 or is that $3? And then it ends up at $30. And the whole way you're like, oh, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. And then eventually, some other dude's like, oh, it's just going to be like NFTs. And then they all fucking miss out. You don't want to be like that. That's the final thing I want to end on. You never bet against people that are actually trying to do shit. You don't bet against cults. You don't bet against people that just keep swinging because they hit eventually. Now, if people are just lazy and they're expecting money to come to them, then yeah, you don't invest in them. You don't invest in groups or coins or whatever where it's just like the people are just feel entitled and they're not hustling. But if you see a group of people that are like really, really trying, you never bet against that. It's almost like a matter of how much you bet on them. And I'm seeing with some of these groups, like with SPX 6900 and Giga, these guys seem like they're swinging. They're not just like, well, we hope for, like, it's not just the same old bullshit. They seem to be creative and like really pushing their message. And that is just something you buy and you hold. You don't trade, you don't overthink it, you buy and you hold, and you see what happens. Anyways, that's the end of Inspo Saturday. No stream tomorrow. I believe we're going to be streaming on Monday. It might be at 10 p.m. Eastern on Monday. But that's it. So I'll see you guys Monday.